Okay. And how did you manage to get the first role? Because I feel like a lot of people struggle, even myself, I struggled getting the first role in Canada. So how was your experience like to get that first role?
We had to struggle quite a bit as well. And the biggest struggle for us was in Montreal, there's a language barrier. So it is another kind of mission to get into that market because half of the people don't even understand, and people who understand don't really want to talk to you. So that was a situation you had to deal with. But having said that, I worked with a very small boutique firm. How I got into it, honestly, I literally did door to door. I used to take my resume and I used to say, I really need a job because when I was finishing or I was joining the CPA program at that time, you couldn't graduate or you couldn't get the designation without completing the hours. So there
Right.
is no other way of getting a CPA until you complete the hours. Now it's so much more easier because you have the right of going to the industry, you have other ways of getting your hours. But at that time, it was only you can only go through a limited number of CPA firms. So the only option was actually going on CPA's website and literally pulling out a listing of whatever firms were there and going door to door and saying, I really need this job. So that's pretty much what I did. And there was one really nice Italian small boutique firm, and they were like old partners, and they were really sweet. And they said, "Fine, we'll take you." So that's the only way we could get into it.
And you mentioned you completed your undergrad in 2.5 years. Isn't it normally 4 years? Or am I
So
mistaken?
in Concordia, you can do it in 3 years
Oh,
if you
wow.
do summers and everything. But because I got some credits and from my AOA levels, so that reduced my time even further.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
Yeah.
very interesting. I've never heard. So you can leverage the courses you take in Pakistan to reduce the number of years in Canada.
So you get credit for some courses. So,
Oh,
for
wow.
example, like basic accounting or basic economics, because we had the A levels, they used to give us credits for it.
Got it. And once you graduated university, what was your full-time role after that?
So, once I graduated, I stuck with that boutique firm for I think a few months. And then me and my sister, because it was just us over here, so we made a decision. We said the smart market is too small. We're never going to get where we want to get. So we shifted to Ontario. So then in Ontario, we started again applying like crazy. We were literally sitting the entire day and applying jobs. And we didn't get a good traction out of it. Never got like really good firms. Like you have those small firms that are calling it, but it wasn't the good firms that were calling it. So again, we just went door to door, said, we need a job. And at that time, the first job that I got was on contract. So it started with a contract and it was TD. So actually, it wasn't TD, it was Rio Can. And they again was a contract role. And they were basically per hour they used to go with it.
Okay. And how was that experience like? Was it a little easier that you had the internship, or did you find it useful for your CPA career?
It was a very good experience. Honestly, like all of my work experience till now has been really good people. Like they're generally very good people. So at Rio Can as well, it was a real, it's a huge company, but I used to work in a small department in Lawrence area. So it was like a small section of the big firm, and it was about real estate. So I was doing accounting for the real estate, and I had no background of how to do it, what to do it. But then there was the really good mentors and coaches who taught you through how to do it. It was very nice because it was my original first or second job after the Montreal one. So it was a lot of learning the work ethic, which was a very good experience, especially to build your base. Right? Because the more you start going up, you need to have that base of how to have your work ethic built in a strong way, right? So it's very nice that way. Like they used to put through you through the grit. Then I went to
Oh,
TD, and that again was a contract role, and that was in
yeah.
their accounting department. But the problem that was happening in all of these, even in Rio Can and in TD, was they didn't give you experience. So
Yeah.
it
The
never
hours, right?
counted towards your CPA. So you always stuck.
Yeah.
So it was a very good experience. I was working with the bank, learning the banking culture. Again, it was a smaller piece. It wasn't in the downtown core. So again, the team was very small. So they were very connected. So it's a very good learning ground. But the problem again came that it doesn't take me to my end goal.
Right.
So from there, then I had to figure out how to get into the firms.